Welcome to the Humanize IT podcast. I forget your name. Who are you?
I'm Amy Bailey of Unusually Unusual Consulting. Happy to be here.
Unusually Usual. A lot of you guys know me on the podcast, so this is a perfect fit for my personality. And so what is it you guys do?
So we do marketing consulting and event planning for companies in the channel. So suppliers, partners, MSPs, kind of anybody who needs a little bit of extra, a little something unusual.
Okay, and you had mentioned something interesting to me about like website design. We did a webinar about a year or so ago, and it was always talking about how your website is rubbish. But unfortunately, Paul Green doesn't do any kind of web design services. He won't help you with your marketing strategy when it comes to websites. And so we tracked you down, and it's like, okay, we have somebody who actually can help you, because getting a canned Wix site is one thing. You're paying your $20 a month. You are a professional MSP. There is a big difference between a good marketing design with a story and something you slap together that looks pretty.
Right.
And if you walk by our booth, people are like, oh my gosh, who's your marketing person? Like, I've got, the flow here is amazing, and there's a design, I've got my unicorns driving people to the booth. And as engineers, we don't think like that. You need somebody to think like that, and you'll notice the difference right away. So I want you to tell us a little bit about what is this kind of story branding idea, the storyboard with your website, how does this work?
Yeah. So, first, what we find is, if they got a Wix website, they're probably ahead of the game. I find a lot of people that have like the website that their, brother's neighbor's kid made for them, and they have no idea even how to log into it, right?
Oh my gosh.
There's a lot of really bad stuff out there that I've seen lately. So, we want to make sure that it is conveying that you are a professional brand, but it's also conveying your personality. Like we're not trying to make you look buttoned up and stuffy. If you want unicorns and rainbows, let's make unicorns and rainbows. It's okay. But show your personality, because you want to attract the type of customer that's going to stick with you for the long haul.
Yeah, that culture fit.
Yeah, you don't want to pretend to be something you're not and end up with customers that just aren't properly aligned with you.
Yeah.
So, putting your best foot forward, putting your story out there, talking about what you do, talking about best practices. What have we done for somebody else like you that made them feel less pain? Right?
Yeah.
So, you've got this email headache, we can help with that. You've got this, card key access headache, we can help with that. Whatever it is that they're working on, a cloud initiative, cybersecurity is huge right now. Are you helping people with, understand the ramifications if they don't have things properly secured?
Don't want to be another MGM right now.
Right, exactly. Oh, that's such a nightmare, you're right.
Oh, it's great for marketing purposes. There's nothing like a shot across the bow to really stir up everybody to buy cybersecurity right now.
Right, exactly. It's like I didn't shop at Target for a while when that whole thing happened. Now, we do a lot of events in the industry at the MGM, and so not a good day for them.
Yeah. So, you're saying some key things that I really like to talk to our members about, and it's, I need to market, and so I need to show people who I am. And so they blanket the market. They set up a LinkedIn campaign and they target everybody in their town. What's wrong with that?
Spray and pray doesn't work. It's not that easy. And so, really it's about, making sure you understand who your buying persona is.
Yes.
And so once you understand that, and also who your company is. Like we usually talk to people and say, figure out what your persona is, and then figure out your buyer persona, and then figure out how you can talk to each other and how you can collaborate, and, not just spraying and praying, not just going out there and shooting it out to the world. I'll contradict myself a little bit here, though. There are some strategies that you can put out there in your own network of people that you maybe haven't talked to in a long time that might need your services. Mm-hmm. One of the things, I'll admit it, I'm, a Gen Xer.
We're the best generation,
right? And when Facebook first came out, I linked with everybody I ever knew.
Yeah.
Everybody I went to high school with, everybody I went to college with, kids that my kid played on their little league team, and we sat next to each other in the stands, and I have no idea what those people do. None. Could they be a prospect for my business? Maybe. Mm-hmm. Is there a way to do some gentle marketing around that? Putting out there what you do. Could you go out on Facebook and put a post out there that's like, hey, this is a really cool story. We helped this customer figure out their cybersecurity issue. Or, hey, this is a really cool thing we did. I'm really proud of us. Yeah. Make it like a little humble brag post. You never know. I've had a lot of MSPs come and go, okay, I got this huge deal the other day because I put this silly little thing on Facebook. So in that generation, it works. Does it work if you're trying to go for, my kid's generation? No, you have to put it on TikTok, talk to them.
Yeah.
So it's, knowing who your customer is and where they live. Where do they hang out? What do they do? That's where you're going to want to communicate with them.
Yeah, and we're talking about like when you need to figure out who they are, set up like their name is Alice. She drives a Jetta and she has 4 kids and she is the primary breadwinner for her house. So you gotta put a name and a face to this.
Right.
And my marketing company, when I first started working with them, like, why do I need to do this? But luckily I have a marketing background and it helps me like resonate. But I'm thinking how many people to walk in the door and like they say, figure out who your persona is. Like, I want people with money that run businesses. No.
We all want that.
What? Yeah.
Let's
Yes.
throw it down a little bit.
Yeah. And I've been telling people like, look, who do you want to do business? Do you want to do dentist offices? What kind of dentist? Pediatric dentist offices?
Orthodontics, yeah.
How are you selling to them and what problem are you solving? So that when they look at your Facebook post and say, hey, I did this thing yesterday and it really helped out Bob. And they're like, oh, I got the same problem.
Yeah.
And that's how, like, when I started out in my company, I started solving problems for small private schools. And then they would tell each other.
Oh,
and then I would talk about online, like, how I did this thing. And then another school would reach out to me, like, hey, we are trying to do that too.
Right.
When you come to our district office, and we'll talk about this with all the schools.
Yeah.
Like, I'm suddenly getting these huge deals because I'm not holding my cards against my chest.
Right.
And I know who I want.
Yeah, which is a perfect foray into testimonials. People love testimonials, so put those on your website. Don't just put, we can help you with your IT needs. Say, we helped this private school with this problem. Yes. And then other people look at that and go, well, we have that problem. Maybe they can help us too. And so video is gold. If you can get somebody to record an easy little video, it can be on an iPhone. It doesn't have to be professionally produced. I think the group that most of our MSPs are going for they understand that it doesn't have to be, this high production, high value. There almost could be a little bit of a turnoff if you have too slick of a
high
video.
Quality.
You're like, oh, I can't afford you. I don't want to do that, right?
I think there's some authenticity to the iPhone footage where it's shaky. Obviously this person is not using thirds.
Right.
It's like off to the top right, and then like that. This is an actual person. I was sitting there giving a testimonial. This wasn't somebody came in with a script and prepared. Hi, I did business with IT Build It, and they were great.
Yeah.
And it's more like, I mean, it made a big difference for us. We're now selling more dog food. We're now helping more kids. We're sheltering more homeless, whatever their mission is, whatever their revenue stream is. And I love that value. So tell me a little bit more about web design and how do you fit your persona? I've got my persona figured out. I want to go for doctors' offices that are pediatricians in my area that are local family practices. How do I build a website around like a persona? Like how do I change what I'm doing now, which is getting no traffic, to getting and attracting people that I care about?
Well, yeah, it's really about, writing marketing messages that they'll be relatable to, right? And so if I'm saying I want to go for doctor's offices or dentist offices, I'm going to put messaging on there around those things. So I'm going to talk about, case studies that I've done to help them. I'm going to have call to action that are going to be, figure out how they communicate. Do they want to text? Do they want to email? Do they want to call? You might want to offer all of those different options, but you want to make sure that you've done a little bit of research to find out like what's the average age. If there's somebody who's 30 and under, they're probably going to want to text you, or they're probably going to want to send an initial time. But having that understanding of what they do, how they do it, how they want to communicate, and be ready to receive that communication their way. But the text needs to reflect that you are a specialist in these areas, that you have expertise in this, that you've done this before. You're putting content on there, you're putting blogs out there, you're putting white papers out there, whatever you can that's showing that this is who we are, this is what we do, we are experts in this area.
We get you.
Yeah.
And we use the dating analogy all the time in like talking to your clients. If you're sitting across the table from somebody and you're like, I'm looking for somebody very attractive that makes a lot of money. And you end the conversation there. What do you bring to the table? I'm a person. Now, if you come and say, hey, I'm looking for somebody who loves to travel. I have a lifestyle where I travel a lot. I like to give to nonprofits and work with nonprofits on the weekends. And I love to do these things. Now you can disqualify people that aren't a good fit. And also this person across the table, it gives them permission to go, that's me.
Yeah.
You get me, you like me. And so when you're discovering them, you're like, do you fit these things? Are you getting to know the person across the table? Do you care who they are as a human being? And thus, humanize IT is what our theme is. And do you care about that person across the table? What they're trying to accomplish? Where they fit in your portfolio? If you're really good with schools, you need to say no to the doctor's offices.
Yeah.
There's a whole bunch of problems they have that you don't understand, and that's okay.
It's okay.
That's okay, because when you're in that narrow field and you get and resonate with this culture, now you can come up with unique solutions, and you solve it for this one person, you can solve it for 3 more.
Yeah.
And then that person feels valued across the table. And if somebody else comes in with a lower price or a cheaper service or something else, like, no, I like working with Adam, I like working with Alice, I like working with Bob because they get me. They're a partner with me.
Right.
And so there's a very different feel there. And so I guess I have a question for my own website. Like, I've got like 50 pages. And
wow.
I'm creating a new landing page for like every time I do a webinar. I've got, we actually are over 1,000 pages, I think, at this point. But a lot of it's like landing pages. A lot of it is it's things that no one's ever going to go in, but they could find it on Google if they said it's still live. But like, how do I get in front? What's the first thing I should put on my website? Like, when somebody lands on my page, what should they care about?
What problem do I solve for them?
Not a picture of me and my IT service?
No. And not your certifications.
But I worked hard on those.
I know you did. Great job. Good job.
I let my CISSP lapse about 2 years ago, and I had to have a stiff drink when I did that.
Yep.
But that was my last certification that was active.
Yeah. and we're not saying that those aren't valuable, but they just shouldn't be the very first thing that you're talking about. The very first thing you're saying. It needs to convey that I get you. What do you do? What is the problem that you solve? We help customers do X. We help businesses like you solve this. Mm-hmm. And then go in and talk about how you've done that before.
Yeah.
But don't have it be, hi, I'm Amy, and this is what I do, and this is why you should do business with me. It has to be a rapport. It has to be a back and forth. Yeah.
And to be specific here, like, I'm looking for customers that's like, I work with schools who are nonprofits to help them succeed with their technology by delivering better Chromebooks, better wireless connectivity, so that your teachers can focus on the students. Right. That is a warm, heartfelt message. I can't write one of those for a dentist office because I don't do business with dentist office, never have. Right. I get my teeth cleaned and I walk out that door. And so you as an MSP, that might be your focus, dentist office, or it might be medical offices. You know how to write something that we help medical offices so they can what? We partner with their HMS. What is your value prop there that no one else can say? Yeah, are you frustrated with your smartboard technology? Let us help you. Yeah, we love smartboards. We love smartboards, but smartboards can be frustrating for some people. Yep. And so we are experts in your smartboard technology. We make smartboards easy. There you go. There you go. Yeah. I love that about marketing. It's like, it's not just pomp and circumstance. It's not just flowers. You got to be relatable. Yeah. If you talk to marketing people, like, I remember I took an art class in college, and it was so much design and theory that went behind the great paintings. Oh. You may like this painting. Do you understand why you like it? And then when you have like this person sitting there describing why the Sunday afternoon in the park is beautiful, why you are attracted to that painting, you start realizing there's all these little details of the trees that line up with umbrellas, and then it's actually observing certain mathematical properties that are pleasing to the eye. All you know is that you like the painting. Right. You like going to the museum and seeing it, but you'll keep coming back to this one and you don't know why. That's what marketing does for you. You work with a good partner and they say, who are you? And they're gonna take time to say, who are you as a company? And like, I know when I do my branding guides, there's about 30,000 questions on there that you guys ask me. And I'm like, I never really thought about this before. Now I've got an identity thing here, and I got to think about my culture. Am I a professional? Am I more of a suit and professional place? Or am I more of, obviously I'm a unicorn place, right? And I had to win over Skip Ziglar on the unicorn. And it's a joke between us now of like, but we're the black kind of tux feel, black and white logo, very professional, this like firm feel. We're never whimsical. And so doing the unicorn was a departure from our image. Okay. but it worked.
But it worked.
It worked. It was like this splash of color across our company. Like, yes, we are professional, but we're fun too.
We're fun, yep.
And it worked. And so that was a lot of my marketing people talking me into this, showing me where to go and saying, hey, look, if you do it this way, here's how this is gonna look. These are the kind of people you're gonna attract. You're gonna pop at conferences and all these things I was not thinking about that they bring up. And that's why I love teams like yours. So we're running a little short on time here, but I want you to tell us about what you can help MSPs with today.
Yeah, absolutely.
And give us a little like infomercial for Amy.
Okay, sure. So one of the packages that we offer is a website package where we sit down and ask all those really hard questions. And sometimes it feels a little bit like a therapy session about who you are and what you want to be when you grow up, or if you haven't quite figured that out yet. But we work with a company called Zing. They're a website builder, and we sit there and do the content and the creative, and they do all of the back end and the building and the SEO, and we deliver a great product for MSPs. It's $1,600, so it's a great way to be able to say, you know what, I have an entry into a modern story brand type website that's not, my neighbor's brother's kid did it.
Yeah. There's something we said, like $1,600 is dirt cheap for websites. Once you get to like a level like we're at and more, like we're dropping 20, 30 grand a year just on maintenance of our website. So if you're an MSP who needs help, $1,600 will net you a lot of cash, because that SEO, that magical SEO they're talking about, that's what's going to get you in front of the dentist office. Yeah. So when they say, I need help with my computer, you're immediately showing up. When they're looking at Google ads, you're showing up with them, and so they're repeatedly seeing you. And then when they go to your website, now it's going to be optimized for what is a dentist looking for? What is an attorney looking for? What is a doctor's office looking for? And it's optimized for them. It may not resonate with a school, and that's great, because now you're getting these qualified leads that you care about, that you're going to be able to charge a premium for, all for $1,600. So if you're finding out that you don't know how to get more clients, you don't know how to get to that next step, this is it. If you do not have an optimized website, you've got to get there. Your friend in the basement can't help you. A full-on marketing agency, it was a turning point in my company. I can say that 100%. It was expensive. We spent a lot more than $1,600, but man, it was so good for us, and that changed our world. Well, thank you for coming on today.
Absolutely.
I appreciate you giving me your time.
Thanks.
And we'll get this posted up on all of our socials, and I'll tag you and let you know.
Sounds great.
Thank you.
Thanks.